Hi, this is Susan Campfield with SueStampfield.com. Thank you so much for stopping by today. Today I'm actually going to have a couple different videos for you. The first video is going to be talking about our new Hamburger Box die that comes in our catalog. In the second video I'll show you how I made that box into a little puppy dog. But for this first video I want to talk about the box and give you some tips and tricks for assembling that, because it's super cute, but there's an easier way to do it than how the directions tell you. So I wanted to share that with you today. So when you purchase a Hamburger Box die, it is an extra long die, and it looks like this. Pull it up here, you can see that there, and there are two tags that come on the die. Now I just cut out my Hamburger Box. I didn't do the tags for this project, so I cut it out in the new Hello Honey cardstock, and you can see there are a lot of score lines on this box. Let me zoom in there. So a lot of the corners score. So when you're using a die that has a lot of score lines, you need to use, instead of your regular cutting pad, you need to change one of those cutting pads out into a premium crease pad. So let me widen back out here. So this is the sandwich that you would want to do on any die that has a lot of scorings. You would use your regular cutting pad, you would use your die, place your cardstock in place, obviously before it's cut out, and then on top you're going to put the premium crease pad. The premium crease pad is soft and bendy, and so it gives you a better score line instead of that hard plate. Usually what happens if you don't use the premium crease pad is it will cut on the scores instead of scoring them. So I strongly recommend that item if you're going to do a die that has scores like this one. So let's talk about assembly. Here's the problem that I ran into when I tried to assemble my box initially. The little corners that have this triangle shape, zoom in again here, with the score in the middle, you're supposed to fold on those scores. The problem that I ran into was I couldn't find an adhesive that wanted to hold that. I tried liquid glue, I tried glue dots, I tried sticky strip, and all of them just kept popping right back open. So I went to my resources, my fellow demonstrators. Stampin' Up! Demonstrators have access to a great site called Stampin' Connection, where we share ideas with one another, projects, post pictures, and so forth. And a great demonstrator named Jen Arkfeld had done a video where she came up with a better way to assemble this box, and it solved my adhesive problem. So Jen used sticky strip for hers. I actually am going to show you how to do it with fast fuse, but let me show you this great tip. So instead of creasing on that center fold, what we're going to do is we're going to make a cut, and we're not going to use that center fold at all. So instead of scoring and folding on that center fold, we're going to ignore that and we're going to make a cut. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a simple cut on each of the four corners on the top and two on the bottom. So let me zoom in a little bit here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the score line up to the intersecting score line and stop. And I'm going to repeat that on all four of these corners on the top. Let me widen back out here. I'll bring in the one where I already cut these so you can see it a little bit better. So here's the top. I cut 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 2 on the bottom. These two are already cut. The die does that for you. And then I did not do anything with that score there. So let me pull back the one that I started on. I'm going to go ahead and clip these corners, and then I'll show you how to attach the adhesive. Okay, my corners are clipped. Now I'm going to do my bone folder and get all of my scores nice and sharp. Okay, I've got those all done and I'm ready to put my box together. So now I need to bring in my adhesive. I find it easier so that I don't mess up to kind of keep those little triangles. I want to put adhesive on this side, not the other side. So if you can imagine, this is going to have adhesive on it and those are going to go together to make a nice, neat corner. So for the adhesive, you could use sticky strip. I almost think you could get away with using glue dots. I'm kind of doing an experiment on that to see if that works, and I haven't given it enough time to make sure that it's going to hold together. Because you now have a flat area meeting up with the flat area, it's not a gusset that's going to be trying to stretch itself apart. So if you used a glue dot and you burnished it well, that might hold. Definitely if you were using Designer Series paper, glue dot would work just fine. But I'm going to use a new adhesive. This is called Fast Fuse. And Fast Fuse is similar to sticky strip in that it is a stronger adhesive, but it does have the advantage of being an applicator. What I found with the Fast Fuse is it's quite different from our snail adhesive that I'm used to using, so it does take a little different technique to operate it. So I wanted to share that with you. I'm going to share that with you in a separate video, so watch for the Fast Fuse tips video. But for this project, I'll show you. Fast Fuse works great, especially in big long strips, which I am not working in big long strips here. I'm working in little corners. So I'm going to put a piece of this is sticker release paper. When you get one of our stamp sets, the stickers that go on the back of the block are on this paper, and I save it and use it because it's great for adhesive projects to put down so I don't get adhesive all over everything. I'm going to tuck these side pieces under so that I don't inadvertently get adhesive on them because I only want it on the little triangles. So I'm going to take my Fast Fuse. I find it works better if I tilt it so that it's perpendicular to my paper instead of angled like I use snail. So straight up and down. And then when you get to the end, you need to make a little check mark to cut the strings on the adhesive. So we're just going to go around, do our little triangles, and did I get these? Oh, didn't get these. So let me show you that check mark motion again. So I start at the top, I go down, and then when I'm ready to cut the strings, I just go to the side, I go to the right, instead of pulling it up. Pulling it up, I'm just going to get long strings. So you need to break those by sliding it really just to the side. So I've got my adhesive on, I'm ready to put this together. So to close our box, we're going to slide these little prongs into the slits that the die cuts. You're probably going to want to widen those a little bit with your, you can use your paper snips or a paper piercing tool. Just kind of take a second to spread them open a little bit so that you can get the little tabs in place. And that's all there is to doing the hamburger box. So if you want to learn how to make it into this adorable little puppy, look for the Puppy Dog Hamburger Box video. Thanks so much for stopping by today. I'll have full supplies for this project on my blog as well, www.suestampfield.com. Bye-bye.